would help the hearing and speech impaired by translating words through a synthesized sign language avatar. So first, we have the application architecture. So our application has two main features or modules. First is the entry module. It is here that a signer or a user could define signs. This is the key feature in having a generic technology that would translate words of any language to animated sign language. So, in order to animate or define the signs, we have based our animation on Hamnosis or the Hamburg notation system. And we have animated it using Blender. It is a free 3D animation software, or open source, I should say. So, they would be then captured not by frames or images, but through points. The points are called quaternion. They are actually used also in 3D animations that involve rotations. So they would be seen somewhere in the back end or a storage device, which in our case, we have used MySQL database. So once that it has already been defined, in another module, we have the translation module. Users would just input a word, then view animation, then they would already view the corresponding animation of that word. To create the synthesized sign language avatar that would execute the sign, we have used MakeHuman, which uses, as I have said, the H-anim standard in representing virtual actors. So there we have the application architecture. To better understand it, I have here a short video that sums it up. So, first creation of the synthesized sign language avatar. As I have mentioned earlier, we have used MakeHuman that uses the standards on H-anim. So we have created a male synthesized sign language avatar, but actually MakeHuman you can specify the gender and other features of the virtual actor to make it more appealing. You could even dress it up. As you can see, it's kind of naked. But you can actually dress it up as a teacher or something like that. So we have used this also because you can export it and import it eventually in Blender. That's where we define the animation. I have said earlier that the user would be the one who would define the animation, right? However, defining one handshake in itself, like OpenPal, would cost you 30 minutes. That's why we have already defined them. This is the process of defining it. So in our case, we have defined 200 handshakes, times 2 for the right and the left, and then 1,000 points here in our body, from the head going to the upper, lower body, the arms, and the hands. And of course, for each handshake, we have defined 15 orientation each. So basically, the users will just be selecting these defined animations already, and they could already create one sign language animation. So there, we are manipulating the avatar to create the handshake for this. So we just have to, I think I talked too fast. Yeah, sorry. So after that, you have to save it. Then capturing, as I've mentioned earlier, capturing the data doesn't need a motion capture device. You just have to have a script, then run the script and save it in the backend storage area, which is MySQL. So can we move the video forward? Wherein, after defining the points, we have already created the graphical user interface. Of course, this is where the user would be using in order to define the signs and interact with the application. So actually, our graphical user interface is still in its development stage. Pinapaganda pa ba namin siya so that it would be more user-friendly. So, again, we have created the synthesized sign language avatar. We have defined the animation for the basic fundamentals of sign language. Then eventually, we have created the graphical user interface, which will be used by the person who would use the application. So we have here the entry module, which will be used for defining the signs. So example, you would define magandang umaga. First, you would be selecting the handshake, which is open palm. After that, the user selects the orientation up. Then, For the location and movement, it would be animated per sequence. So for Magandang Umaga, we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he or she would be defining the locations and the movement like up, down. So it's as easy as that. Then eventually it would be saved then in the backend storage, where users could view this animation using the translation module here. Example, Mabuti has already been defined. So the user types Mabuti, then clicks on View Animation, then our synthesized sign language avatar executes Mabuti. So imagine how this application could be used. It's as simple as that. This could be a supplementary aid in having to teach and learn sign language. It could be used by teachers to define a sign and give it to the student, so that in their houses they could practice sign language. And it could also be used by relatives of those hearing and speech impaired to study sign language, so that they wouldn't have to enroll in educational institutions. Furthermore, we are using open source technologies, so it's accessible to develop the application and to be used by people. And we have also used point-to-point animation that doesn't actually require in order for you to define signs, you have to have motion capture data or to use lots of images or frames. Instead, you'll just be capturing points. So you could just upload this in the internet and download it by people all around the world so that they could define signs. And actually, we could have a big library of animated sign language that would eventually add to the body of knowledge, not only on Filipino sign language research, but to the sign language research in general in the whole world. So, this could open doors to more possibilities, such as when we already have added facial expressions and we have evaluated that the animation is fluid enough to animate sentences and everything. We could have to translate sign language to words or speech pattern to animated sign language. Or we could include them in classrooms so that as teachers would be discussing, there's a sign language avatar doing the sign language of what the teacher is telling. This could contribute much on inclusive education. And furthermore, it's not only in education, but even in the business sector. It's like when people are transacting and you're hearing and speech impaired, you're transacting with a hearing and speech impaired, you can incorporate this in a lot of technologies. So I have here a story. We have the starfish story. There was once a kid who was trying to save all the starfishes in the beach. There were probably hundreds or thousands of these starfishes. Then a man asked him, "Why are you saving these starfishes? You can't probably save them all." But the kid just said, "It's better to save a few rather than saving nothing." This application may not solve all the problems of hearing and speech impairment. But me as an IT, I went for IT because I was amazed on how technology works. I am amazed now of what we have researched, not only because it could do something big or something like that, but because it could help. So I would want to thank the following people who have helped me. So my group mates and of course our advisor. And on behalf of our team, I would want to tell all of you, maraming salamat po.